to another episode of CAcafe Craft Corner. Today, I'm going to show you how to wrap a large jar, a mini jar, and one of our brand new gift boxes. For this, you will need some wrapping paper, tape, scissors, and a bow or string to tie it with. Let's start with the mini jar. So first you need to cut the wrapping paper to the correct length and size. So for this small jar, I'm going to wrap it like a Tootsie Roll. And so I want extra length on the edges so there will be poofy wrapping paper coming out. So I'm going to take and I'm going to cut, and I have about like 1 hand's width on each side extra of wrapping paper. So now I'm going to bring this edge of the wrapping paper up over the jar, and I'm going to tape it in place. And now I'm going to roll the jar all the way in the paper, all the way to the end. Now once I get there, you want to fold this in a little bit so that you have a nice clean edge. And that way when you tape it up, it meets nicely and you don't have any torn edges showing. Now you're going to cut the string that you're going to wrap around the edges to make the Tootsie Roll. Once you have cut your string, you're going to bring it underneath all the way to where the edge of the present is, and then you're going to tie a knot. Do it gently so you don't rip the paper. And now you're going to repeat on the other side. And now you have a beautiful present. Now we're going to wrap our large jar. First, you're going to roll out your paper again and measure. Now you're going to want it only to come up to about half the edge of the lid, halfway on both sides. You also only need about just enough paper to cover a couple extra inches of the jar. And you can just cut off all the extra. So once again, you're going to bring the paper up and tape it in place. Keep in mind as you're doing this step to make sure that you don't put too much extra paper on either side. You want to keep it just to that amount I showed you, where it only comes up to about halfway. Finish rolling it. Once again, you want to fold in the edge so you have a nice smooth line. You want to fold in the corners a little bit. Bring it down to the center. And again, make a point, bring it down to the center, make a point, bring it down to the center, make a point, bring it down, you can see mine's a little off center. That happens. The more you practice, the better you'll get. Ta-da! Now, you can stick a bow on top or anything you want to decorate it. So you need to measure your wrapping paper again. So you always want the wrapping paper to come up to just about halfway or a little more over the box. And you always want just enough paper to cover. So you start off with a little bit extra and you go 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to cut right here. Remember to fold in the edges for a nice clean line. Now you don't want to put tape on a box like this because it'll rip once you pull the tape off, so you just fold the first part over and then the second part over and tape there. Next you're going to do the sides. I realize on this side I have too much extra paper, so I'm going to cut some of it off to make it easier to fold the edge. So first you're going to fold in all the way down to the bottom, increase it. You're going to do the same on the top, increase it, and then you're going to do the same to the other side. And then repeat on the other side. If you find that you left a gap, you can always add a piece of paper underneath so that when you wrap it, no one can tell. You want to cut a lot extra string. You're going to start from the top of your present, go underneath like this, and then you're going to switch hands. Hold the bow. You want to make sure it's even on both sides, so I need to put a little more on this side so that both sides are even. And pull tight around the edges, back up to the top. You can place your finger in there to keep it tight while you're doing making the bow. So we made a normal wrapped box, we wrapped a cylinder, and we did a Tootsie Roll package. Thank you for watching and have a great holiday.